They don't even taste like mint.
Wait till you get to the middle.
Is it soft in the middle then?
Delicious, really.
And minty?
More minty than last night's.
Which coat did they come from?
That red one.
Oh, lovely colour on it.
Oh, you should try it on.
I might. After the interval.
It's good someone's still wearing coats like that. Shall we have another mint?
Passes the time, doesn't it?
You know, I swear I won't go into some of these newer coats.
You don't know what you'll find.
Oh, the pockets are full of rubbish.
And Skittles.
I would never eat a Skittle.
You can tell a lot from someone's pockets.
Well, I once took Diana Rigg's coat. In her pocket was a packet of Polos.
That's an elegant mint.
I ate 3.
For an elegant woman, I would say.
I don't think she even noticed.
That's the most famous coat we've had in here.
Except for the Lloyd Webber.
There was never a Lloyd Webber.
Oh, you were off that night.
And you never thought to mention it?
You never asked.
Well, that would have passed the time.
I was almost scared to go in his pockets. It sat there all first half. I finally put my hand in. The pockets were deep and lined with a strange fur. I could sense something at the bottom.
Well, out with it.
It was a half-eaten hobnob.
But surely he'd finish it at least.
Oh, I think he's gone downhill. I can't watch Cats after that.
I won't believe it.
And him being a life peer and everything. Oh, we could have finished it. Fancy another mint?
Oh, I've not finished mine yet.
I've just finished mine. Mind you, I nibbled the last bit, didn't I?
5 and 6, 56.
An elderly woman's house in Richmond.
And now just tell me your job again.
Long-term care, I'm just going to ask you a few questions.
And have I offered you some tea?
I've finished a cup already, Mrs. Good. I'm going to ask you some questions about your hip.
I haven't broken it again, have I?
Not at all.
It's been broken in the past.
Now it's all healed, is that right?
Was that thanks to you? You were at the hospital, weren't you?
No, Mrs. Good, my job is care in the community.
Oh, that's lovely. And we must get you some tea.
I've just had this cup full.
Yes, those are lovely cups, aren't they? I should get some for my own house.
Well, my job is to make sure you can stay here. Right here in your own house.
Thank you. You're a very kind-looking person. I certainly appreciate your offer.
Now, I'm just going to ask you a few simple things.
Shouldn't I be the one making the inquiries?
Do you have some questions you'd like to ask instead?
Well, if you're going to be working in this house, I'll need to know if you are honest.
If I'm to be working here?
And if you come with good references. I haven't had a girl working in the house in years.
And where is your house?
It's not far from here.
And where are we right now?
This hotel room simply won't do, will it? I can't even offer someone a cup of tea here. You don't like this room, do you?
Why don't we talk about your fall?
It was a simple mistake. It won't happen again.
Could you point out to me where it happened?
Just over there by the stairs.
In this hotel room?
No, this is my home. The home I'm going to stay in. I don't fall often.
Sorry, I thought you'd fallen only once.
I want to stay in the house. Have I not been welcoming?
No, you've been very welcoming.
I haven't even offered you some tea. What are you writing there?
It's just a few notes, Mrs. Good.
Now you'll have to tell me what it is you do again.
I'm in care in the community.
Oh, that sounds fascinating. I thought for a moment you worked for the hotel.
$60.60.
A mother and daughter in a pub in Russell Square.
Mum, finish the story. Did he pick you up in a nice car?
Who, your brother?
No, last Friday night. I want details.
Oh, stop it.
He picked you up in his nice car. He was wearing an interesting tie, Rue said. You have to tell me about the romance, Mummy.
This is not a mountain, this is a molehill.
He took you to the Ivy.
No, to the Indian. Down at the end of the street.
Well, it's a bit cheap.
It was informal.
With him in a tie.
Alexandra, I don't know. He was fine. It's a little different to what I imagined. He seemed bewildered by the city. I've never heard someone talk quite so much about the ring road. There's all the ring road this and traffic. Feeder lanes? The amount of single passenger cars on the M25. I didn't know what to say. I thought all this talk of traffic meant that he was trying to stay the night.
With you? On the first date?
No, not in our house.
Well, he could have used my room.
Not in your room, Alexandra. I told him it was all new for me. I was very nervous. I said I absolutely adored my children.
Why?
Well, because I do.
Why did that come up?
Well, he told me his passion was the outdoors, and then he asked me if I had any passions.
Your garden?
He said passions.
That you have passions that aren't your children. Mum, don't say we're your passion.
It's the truth.
But it makes people nervous. Men.
You and Rupert are my life. I wanted him to know that whatever happened, he would never be as important to me as you two.
Perfect.
Well, you know I love you, don't you?
I know that.
Yet we don't say it enough, though, do we?
We say it.
Well, I had to say something to put an end to all his talk of the outdoors. Oh, and of fox hunting. He knew the men who broke into the Houses of Parliament to protest. I would have been there, he said, but they didn't want men with large stomachs. Yes. Well, I just smiled at that. Oh, and I didn't know what to say when he started talking about the smell of his saddle and how lovely it was. Oh, I suppose he meant the leather. Oh, no, but I thought he was talking about his own smell. Well, you know, himself.
Mum.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was his way of trying to talk about, well, you know, his crotch. It was odd. I mean, I guess everyone's vegetable patch is different.
He's handsome, though, from what Rupert said.
No, he was more outdoorsy than handsome.
Like Dad?
Your father was not outdoorsy.
Well, he was tanned.
Well, he wasn't ruddy. I shouldn't be cruel. He said to me, my passion is hunting, although it's very different for him apparently, because he said that he truly understood the animal. Oh, I don't know, he'd read some book on the Native American and how they have this soul connection with their prey. He has that too, apparently. Oh, he was very serious. I mean, some people on the hunts, they're so foolish, as you might expect.
Well, Daddy thought hunts were ridiculous.
Well, he didn't act foolishly at them.
He always said they were ridiculous.
Your father wasn't foolish. So anyway, he said he could really feel what the animal was feeling. And I did say I could understand that.
What an animal is feeling.
No, I said that sometimes I found it hard not to feel what my children were feeling.
Mum.
Ooh, do you remember at the old place in Finchley, when you slipped and you shoved your leg into the door frame? You just got out of the bath and you were running around naked.
You told him I was naked.
Yes, you just got straight out of the bath.
You don't talk about your daughter being naked.
No, but you'd almost skinned your knee to the bone, and I couldn't stand to look at it. And your father, he put his arms around me and he said that I was the one who was supposed to be calm. I was the one who was supposed to hold it together. And he was right. We picked you up. Do you not remember? Well, the two of us, we linked arms underneath you, and it calmed me. He could always calm me down. He'd just hold on to me for minutes on end. Oh, and do you remember his voice?
You didn't talk to him about Daddy's voice.
Yes, look, it's not wrong to talk about your father. We don't do it enough. I will not be told how I should mourn. It's hardly been a year. Or a couple of years.
But on a date.
A dinner.
Your first dinner with anyone.
It was just a dinner. And I told him during the meal that sometimes I can't even remember the sound of your father's voice.
When? During pudding?
Oh no, we decided not to have pudding.
Who decided?
Well, there didn't seem to be a point. And the meals, they were very filling. Look, Alexandra, people have their own kinds of conversations when they reach this age, and he was interested. I told him that sometimes I have to sit there in the quiet just to hear the sound of your father's voice. Some nights I lie in the dark and I just try and bring back any small word. Oh, he knew your father from school.
I know.
He told me that once your father had to stand up and recite some William Blake. His voice had already deepened and all the other boys were very jealous. Oh, I told him I wish I could have heard his voice right then.
He must have enjoyed that.
It's all right to talk about these things. Actually, he had his own example.
Yeah, but his ex-wife isn't dead. She lives in Scotland.
No, not her. He said on some days he couldn't remember the bark of one of his favourite hounds.
Mum!
Oh, I just looked down at my fork.
He was making a joke.
He wasn't.
Oh, Mum.
Oh, and then we had to drive back. We had to drive 50 feet down the street. He insisted. So that was another chance to complain about cars. We stopped in front of the house and he said, I can't park because of all the traffic. It'll have to be a quick goodbye.
Did he kiss you?
Alexandra.
Mum!
I don't really know what it was. He came towards me, and I got that feeling that I used to get at the end of our Christmas parties when one of your father's friends would kiss me goodnight for just a little bit too long. I felt unfaithful. His face was so large and it was coming towards me. Oh, and the worst thing, this is terrible.
It's all right.
Well, I noticed there was something. There was some sort of chicken korma sauce on his moustache.
Oh, Mum.